Hi everyone, my name is Bele. I'm one of the developers here at Jadu and Spacecraft. So let's go to the next exercise. And here we're gonna use an external web service where we need to create a widget that fetches a list of to-dos or anything from like a public API, and it will display that list on the front end. And for the settings part, we're gonna need like a limit for the number of to-dos that we want to display and the widget title. So let's say, for example, you have some external API that you maybe want to display for the logged in users, like fetching some data that is particular to a user. And at the same time, you still have some widget settings, like you want a certain title or you want a certain resource that you want to display for that user. This is a very simple widget that we can use to do this as a proof of concept. So there's a public free API, REST API that we can use, and it's a JSON placeholder type code. So if we go here, it returns a simple list of JSON objects that are a list of to-dos. So let's first go to the secure part. Secure part is simple, exactly the same as the previous one. We have widget title and how many number of to-dos that we want to display. It's exactly type text, exactly the same. And in the public HTML, we're gonna save the values that are injected as number of to-dos and widget title. Each one has its own variable. The service URL, we don't need this actually. And service URL, which is the JSON placeholder.com/to-dos. We're gonna go do a simple curl request. We're gonna execute the curl request, closing the curl request, checking for errors. If there are errors, we're gonna print them and don't display anything else. If there aren't any errors, we're gonna JSON decode the response. We're gonna check if it's an array or if it's empty. If it's not empty, if it's empty, then there aren't any to-dos. And here we're gonna check if the number of return to-dos are bigger than the number of the limit. If they are bigger than the limit that we want to impose, so in this case there are 5. If the API returns 10 to-dos and we only want to display 5 of them, the first 5 of them, we are doing a simple array slice where we are limiting to number of to-dos. And here we are displaying the widget title, the encoded widget title from here, that is injected, and then a simple for each where we are displaying the to-do title that is returned from the API. We're gonna upload this widget as well, see how it goes, and see how, if we are changing the widget settings, it's gonna refetch and redo the list. Widget manager, upload widget, list of to-dos, exercises 3. I'll go to the same homepage. Do I have it here? Yeah. So let's delete the old widget and let's find our list of to-dos. List of to-dos. So we have the widget title as list of to-dos, but instead of 5, we want 8 to display. We click continue. And automatically on the preview, it automatically fetched the API and returned the titles of those widgets, of those to-dos, sorry. Publish and view. So they are directly fetched from from the API. So it executes the public PHP part and it does a query request, fetches, and at the same time, this of course can be made more complicated if you want to search for the current user, send the current user email address to the API or current user external ID to the API, fetch that back and display some information for that user. There are still some features that I want to discuss.